Hello, this is Vince, and I'm going to show you a quick tutorial on how to add to Google Calendar. So the big thing with Google Calendar, of course, we're starting to use shared Google Calendars. Some of you got emails from me of calendars that I've shared with you. Some of them will be edit, and some of them will be view only, depending on how we share them with you. For instance, if I share any of the computer lab ones or the Chromebook carts, then those obviously you can edit, so you can add your times that you'd need those. Other times, like the in-service one or the meetings one, though, only a few staff members will have editing rights for those. For elementary staff, I just shared the library, BDP library calendar with you, and that's where I want you to pick your library times that you'd like to have with me. I am requesting that try to make it a half an hour because I am going to want to implement makerspace times. I know at least in 2nd through 5th grade. Kindergarten, 4K kindergarten, 1st grade can have it be 20 minutes if that works best in your schedule. I would like to add 1st grade later this year for makerspace also. All right, so what you need to do is first you got to, in Google Calendar, you have to see which calendar you are on, and then you need to add an event. So Margaret already told me that she wants her library times on Fridays, so I'm going to go ahead and start in September, and we're going to start here on the 14th for the first library time. I just click on the 14th, and then I need to add an event. The biggest thing here is you need to give it a title. So I'm going to go to 2nd grade library and makerspace. And it is critical. This is the critical part here, is the making sure you're going in the correct calendar. The number one error that I've seen when adding events to calendars is not selecting the proper calendar that it should be going to. If I select just Vince Chaher's BDP work calendar, it's only going to go to my calendar. Nobody else will see it. I want this to go into the library calendar, so I click on that, make sure I choose BDP library calendar, and I'm going to go to more options because I want to make this reoccurring. So it'll start on the 14th. It's not going to be all day. Margaret has said that she wants to have this be at 1:50 to 2:20, which works really well because right after that her class has computer lab time too. All right, and we want it to repeat weekly on Friday. In fact, we can go to custom and have this end every week on Friday, ends on the last day of school. And I'll just say that it'll be because we're not going to do any library times the very last week for sure, and I'll say done. And I've now know that it's going into BDP library. I've given it a title, given it the time, done the repeating, so it shows up every single Friday. Add a guest. I'm going to add Margaret to this. So if she uses Google Calendar, this would also show up in her calendar, and I'm going to give her modify access. You could add a Google Hangout. We don't necessarily need to, but I'll just leave it in there. So if Margaret ever needed to change this, change the time, we definitely could. Let's say we have a in-service, we can modify 1 week to, let's say, Thursday before, which I'm very flexible with. So go ahead and say save. All right, want to let Margaret know about it? Yes. And so this way it'll show up in her calendar. It'll also show up in the BDP library calendar. And as you can see, every single Friday, there you go. That's what's showing now for 2nd grade library times. Thank you so much, and please do that when you need computer labs, carts for Chromebooks, and scheduling, and you'll find it very, very helpful.